Good afternoon, everyone. I just want to double check. Can everyone hear me? Can you please put in the chat if you can hear me? Perfect. Perfect. Right, we'll start then. So, good afternoon, everyone. So, my name is Alex Martin. I'm the product manager for the FST department here at Scott Barder. I'm filling in for Neil Gray this afternoon. Unfortunately, he's ill today, so I'm stepping in, but I work quite closely with Neil. So this is Scott Barder's presentation on systems for demanding FST applications. So a quick overview of the agenda. So we're going to talk a little bit about Scott Barder. Then we've got moving on to Harmonized FST specifications. Then talking about our Crestafire product ranges. Then a little bit about the Scott Barder Surtex collaboration. And some of our applications case studies. And then at the end, we'll have time for the questions at the end. So if you guys have any questions, feel free to leave them in the chat, and I'll get back to them at the end of the presentation. So our purpose statement. So here at Scott Barder, we pioneer the future of chemistry, making a positive difference to all businesses we serve and each life we touch. So since our CEO joined a few years ago, we've had a big push to moving towards trying to make a better impression of ourselves in the chemical industry. So every decision we take, we're taking into consideration the ecology, the humanity, as well as the business aspects. So before we take a decision, we always ask ourselves, is this moving towards our goal of improving the ecology of what we're doing, and is it going to help somebody? So to see if we can exceed our customers' expectations. This kind of ties in quite nicely with our 2036 vision. So we envision a world where humanity thrives without compromising natural systems it depends on. So this is what I was saying before. So a lot of our stuff is kind of acting beyond compliance, so making sure that we're registered in all of our products are registered and registered, that kind of thing. We do a lot of trying to protect the environment. Can we be more sustainable? Unleash our colleagues' potential. So sometimes a colleague might have a new idea to help us improve our kind of ecology standpoint, and also want to deliver more value to society. We can do this in a lot of ways. We give a lot of money to charity. It's part of our kind of key values. So I'm going to move on. So a little bit about Scott Barder. So this is our kind of global reach. So as you can see, we're kind of an interesting size of company. We're not the biggest, we're not the smallest, but we have a global reach all the way around the world. So as you can see, our headquarters is based in England, in Wollaston, but we have manufacturing sites all around the world, as well as distribution sites in even more countries. And our group turnover last year was 230 million euros. We are just waiting for 2018's figures to be finalized by end of this month. So a little bit about the evolution of Scott Barder. So we were formed in London in 1920. Then we moved up to Wollaston near Northampton in 1940. We became a common owner sheet company in 1951. We opened our manufacturing site in France, in Amiens, in 1966. We opened our site over in the US in 1992, moving on to a lot more expansion and investment in our technical centres through the late 90s and 2000s. 2013, we acquired our polymers business in Canada and introduced the adhesives and advanced composites division, as well as agreed joint ventures in Saudi Arabia and Brazil. And then in 2017, developed our sustainability vision, which is what I was talking about earlier in the 2036 vision. So moving on to the parts about the fire, smoke and toxic fume. So harmonized FST specs. So we're seeing more and more these days that the two key specs are EN 13501 Part 1 for building and construction and EN 4545-2 for rail and rolling stock. So a little bit about 13501. So the classification code you get at the end of the test is broken into 3 different categories. So the first letter is to do with the fire performance. So A1 and A2 are classed as not flammable or inflammable. So composites can't really achieve these. Classes B through to F, composites can achieve. So B is very difficultly inflammable, and we have products that can achieve this high rating. The second one is the S rating for smoke, and this goes from 1, 2, and 3. And then D is about droplets. So so they're going from no droplets all the way down to there's no limitation on the amount of droplets. Moving on to EN 4545. There are 3 main hazard categories, HL1 to HL2 to HL3. And this kind of table shows you the different applications that require the different standards. So the operation category 1 is for above ground metros that don't go through tunnels, and if there was a fire, it'd be very easy to get out of, all the way down to operation category 4, which is like London Underground, where the trains are majority in tunnels and there's no escape via a tunnel, so you have to wait till you'd get to a platform or a station. So as you can see, as you move down the operation category, the requirements go up towards HL3. But even though these are the minimum requirements, we see a lot of these hazard levels being pushed towards the next level up for the higher level of fire safety. So we see a lot more now being HL2 and HL3 even. So a little bit about our fire, smoke and toxic fume ranges. So we have our resins and compounds. So we have our Cristic polyester resins and compounds. We have Crestapole urethane acrylate resins. Under the gel coats, we have our FireGuard range. And under the adhesive, we have Crustabond primeless adhesives, which have a multitude of fire specifications. So Crestafire is our kind of umbrella brand. It kind of brings together all the different aspects of our fire, smoke and toxic fume products for the rail, building and marine markets. So here's an extract from our building construction brochure. So that we have a table of our certificates, the products, the application, how they can be used, whether they're Hanalate, RTM, contact molding, that kind of thing, what the resin type is, and the specifications and the classifications they meet. If you guys need any more information on this, we can send you our PDF brochures afterwards. And again, in the FST rail brochure, we have our certificates for all the rail standards. You can see EN 4545 Part 2 here. And then this is our new system. So this is Crestapole 1211A plus FireGuard GC78PA. So this is a RTM resin system alongside our new spray Intumescent gel coat, which I'll talk a little bit more about now. But this standard will, this system, sorry, will achieve HL2 to R1, HL3 to R10 and R17. So this is the new system. So it's our proprietary urethane acrylate technology. It's very low viscosity, standard MEKP cure, has excellent toughness properties. The system comes pre-filled for your convenience, and the product has an excellent surface finish. This is then twinned with our FireGuard GC78PA, which is a new spray FST gel coat. So it's very easy to spray. It's a match system with our 1211A, and the system achieves, as I said earlier, to EN 4545 Part 2, HL3 to R10, R17, HL2 to R1. We are currently testing right now to 13501 Part 1, so hopefully we should have these results back shortly. So here's a a picture of our new gel coat, so 78 PA. So for those who aren't familiar, so in the EN4545 test, there's an ISO 56660 cone calorimetry test, where a 10 centimeter by 10 centimeter panel is subject to a heating element with a pilot flame. And as you can see on the left is what can happen to a standard fire retardant gel coat. So it's kind of cracked and it's kind of delaminated away from the backing resin. So it's kind of become a pile of fire retardant chips almost. Whereas our new Intumescent gel coat, so when the gel coat is subject to the flame, the intumescent layer starts to rise up and it forms a protective char layer. So as you can see, it stays as one uniform layer, which then protects the backing layer. So when you actually take these panels out of the parts, this one here, when you bend it, it actually breaks because the backing resin is started to burn, so it's given away its structural integrity. But when you try and and then with the new Intumescent gel coat, when you try to bend the panel, because the resin hasn't been burnt yet, you can't break the panel. It's still got all of its structural integrity left. So here's a little bit about our new collaboration between Scott Barder and Surtex. So Scott Barder and Surtex have joined forces for structural composites with FST properties. So combining our Scott Barder Leo Crestafire 1261 PA, this is our high performance urethane acrylate resin. It's an unfilled system, it's very easy to infuse, and it's halogen and antimony free. This is twinned with our Scott Barder Leo FireGuard GC78 PA, which is the intumescent gel coat on the previous slide, which also has excellent processability. These two products are twinned with Surtex Leo non-crimp fabric, which gives uncompromised mechanical properties, and it's available in glass and carbon varieties. This can also be used with Surtex Surfoam Leo for extra high stiffness and impact resistant cores. This system together has passed HL2 to R1, R7 and R17 in different thicknesses with paint and varnish systems as well. So this is part of the Surtex Leo system, and we're very proud to be the resin and gel coat supplier for this moving forward. So I thought I'd move on to some case studies so you can see where we've used our products previously. So this is a rail case study. So this is for CAF Europe. So the parts were manufactured by Dongen Country Business Plastic Hardware Company. So this is for interior panels and had to meet the French standard NFP 92501 to M1F2. So this was done by vacuum assisted light RTM, and the reason why the customer liked our products is there's excellent low smoke, low toxicity fiber performance, extreme low viscosity, which made it easy to use, and it works well with many reinforcement options, traditionally glass to Kevlar to carbon. Another rail case study. This is for a VIP chair in China for the high-speed railway line. So this was made using Crestafire 1212, and it had to meet the fire standard DIN 5510 to S4/SR2/ST2. And again, this was done by vacuum-assisted RTM. So the structure of this chair was very complicated. It was separated into 3 different pieces and using several mold insert blocks. So it's quite a complex job, and because it was for a VIP chair, it had to be of an excellent surface finish, because it had to look luxurious, which it did. It gave excellent FST performance, and because of the urethane acrylate technology, it gave a very rapid cure. So moving on to some building case studies. So this is the BBVA headquarters project. So we had to meet to 13501. So the panels are made of Crestafire 1212 by vacuum infusion, and then these had 75 PA gel coat added on top as well. So you can see from the picture, there's all these white veins here. So these could actually move, so they could block the light out of the building when it was midday to keep the building cool, and then they could move to let more light in later on during the day when the sun was going down. So the reason why the customer liked this product was the rapid demolding at ambient temperature due to the urethane acrylate technology in the Crestapole, which gave them productivity gains. And also they were able to spray the gel coat, which again made their process even quicker. And these faster processing times helped Innova to be competitively priced overall when they were doing the project. Also gave excellent low smoke and toxicity fire performance. And again, the extremely low viscosity made it very easy for the customer to use our products. So this is for a luxury villa in Dubai. So they were making all the external facades, cladding and beams. So they were using our Cristic 349 EPA resin with our Cristic GC76PA fire retardant gel coat. So this was for the American ASTM E84 standard to Class 1 or Class A. And the benefits the customer saw was achieve this fire spec for making all the different parts, gave a very good high quality finish, and we had excellent technical support for the customer. So the customer was very confident in our ability to show them how to use the products and for them to get the most out of them. Ferrariland, so this is a more recent one. So this is in Spain near Barcelona. So again, this is using Crestapole 1212, manufactured by Look Composites and Miraplas. So the top part of the red car at the front, so each one of these had a different shape, different size, so it's a very complex part geometry, and this had to meet the building standard EN 13501 to BS2D0. But what's interesting about this project is that both sides of the material had to pass the fire spec, so not only the gel coated side but also the resin side, which 1212 can pass on both sides. The customer also liked the possibility to use Crestapole 1212 in a number of different applications. So some parts were made by hand layup, some were vacuum infused, and some were RTM'd, which means you can buy one product and use on 3 different processes. And again, it was very easy to use during hand layup due to its low viscosity. And the customer also had heard of Crestapole as a well-known resin in the composites industry. It's been successfully used for many other building projects. So this is a building in the Netherlands. So again, had to meet 13501. And the customer wanted to do a lot of this project work off-site. So the customer bought Crestapole 1213A, which is pre-filled. They vacuum infused the parts off-site in a warehouse, and due to the rapid demolding, we had to rapidly demold the parts due to the fast cure rate of the Crestapole. It gave the excellent low smoke and toxicity fire performance they needed. And then when the parts were made, they could then bond them to the building using our Crestabond M15 primeless adhesive. So as you can see in the picture at the bottom is the picture of the side panel, and then around the edge of the building all the way around is where the composite was used. This is for the Pajeas rail tunnel project in Spain. So at the time, this was the 2nd largest rail tunnel in Spain, and I think the 4th largest in Europe. So this was done with Technopole. So we used Crestapole 1212 to line the inside of the tunnel. So using 1212 for in protrusion, it achieved BS2D0 to 13501. Also, the reason why the cladding had to be put around the tunnel was because the tunnel was below the water line, so water was creeping in through the concrete, and due to the inherently low water uptake of the Crestapole resins, it was an effective solution to insulate the inside of the tunnel from the water, as well as offering the fire performance. You can see the list of the other fire standards that Crestafire 1212 also met, in case the customer wanted a different standard. And again, it's the product is very easy to use during the pultrusion process, even though it's highly filled due to its extremely low viscosity. So Acciona and Scott Barder won the JEC 2017 Innovation Award for construction on this project, and the project took it about 1.5 years to 2 years to complete the full lining of the tunnel. So as you can imagine, it's quite a big project. So thank you very much for listening. My name's been Alex Martin. I'm the product manager for the Crestafire and FST products. My contact details are listed on the screen. If anyone has any questions, please put them in the chat now, and I'll start answering through them. Thank you very much. Yeah. The first question is, will the file be available on a PDF? Yes, we will. We'll have this version on PDF that we'll be able to send out afterwards to everyone who's signed up. So yeah, we'll be able to do that. So the viscosity of Crestafire 1212 is about 0.7 poise when tested at a viscosity at 25 degrees at 4,500 seconds to the -1. So which kind of material is 1212? So Crestafire 1212 is a urethane methacrylate based resin, which can be used in a variety of different applications. It can be used in hand layup, pultrusion, vacuum infusion, and RTM, as I said earlier. Yeah. So do we have any gel coats which can be applied onto wood doors to make it fire retardant? If you send us an email afterwards, we'll be able to get back to you. We have done some work on wood, but I think it'd be better if we followed that up with another email. So a question on the gel coat spraying. So we actually have almost like an application guide for the new Intumescent gel coat. So if you send us an email afterwards, we can get that kind of application guide sent over to you on the spraying of the gel coat. So it gives the parameters of what kind of spray equipment you need, what kind of pressures, what kind of nozzles, what kind of thickness you need to use. So another question is what kind of hardener can be used with 1212? So 1212 is not like an epoxy. It doesn't require a hardener. It just requires a catalyst and accelerator. Yeah. Got a few more questions coming in. So can the gel coat be sprayed into a hot press tools? I'm probably not the best person to ask on this, but if you send us an email, I can get someone in technical who'll be able to follow up on that question. So with Crestafire 1212, which comes as the unfilled system, you need to add catalyst and accelerator, but we do have systems that already have the accelerator added. Yeah. Thank you to Andy Elford for mentioning 1212 is a good product. So for the Crestafire 1211A, yeah, you can just use standard MEKP, yeah. If you want to send me an email afterwards, I can send you the technical data sheets for the Crestafire products, and it has all the information in there. For those who have clicked the opt-in button, we will send a copy of the PowerPoint presentation, and we'll send a list of we'll make a note of all the questions that have been asked, and we'll try and, the best as we can, answer all the questions and then send that out in an email to everybody. The button was in the registration form, so before you would have kind of come into this web seminar, you should have clicked it already. Yeah. If you guys think you didn't opt in by accident, if you leave your email address in the chat link, and then we'll be able to send it via email. So we have used, perfect. So we have used this system in pipelining, but we'll follow up your question with a separate email with technical, and they can send you through the information that we have on the pipe relining stuff. Yeah. Is there any more questions coming in? Yeah. So thank you for everyone for listening. I'll stay in the webinar for a few more minutes in case anyone's got any more questions they want to ask. But yeah, thank you all for listening, and hopefully we can do business with you at some point in the future.